Ooh, what's good, Commanders fans? Just wanted to give a quick update on the injuries going on for the team after listening to Dan Quinn's press conference. Just talking about Marshon Lattimore, Austin Seibert, and then also the offensive line. So we got some good news and then some news that you can't really just get a conclusion from, but you just get an inkling and just kind of how things are trending. And that's about Marshon Lattimore. So Dan Quinn said cornerback Marshon Lattimore will do his work on a side field today. Now, remember the side field thing with Curtis Samuel. I don't want to compare to that, but it does bring back a little PTSD when that did happen with Curtis Samuel. When would he play? Every week he was on the side field. Now, what I will say about Marshon Lattimore as well is that yes, they brought him in here for the playoff push, for the playoff run, not just for the first two games or whatever the time that he's got since he's gotten here. The hamstring injury, it does appear to be more serious than what I thought or what many people thought. A lot of people thought it was a Javonte Adams situation where he wanted to be traded and was just done or fed up with the season because the Saints season was basically going downhill and Marshon was possibly just ready to part ways. And then when he goes to the new team, the hamstring is fine, just like how Davante Adams did with the Jets. But that's not the case. This is a serious, legitimate hamstring soft tissue injury. And Dan Quinn said that he will work on the side field today. Also said Marshon Lattimore did speed work over the weekend. Dan Quinn said he'll have a better idea on Marshon Lattimore tomorrow afternoon into Friday. So tomorrow we probably won't really get much in like a presser type of thing. I don't even think Dan Quinn speaks to the media tomorrow. I think it's more of like Joe Witt Jr. and Cliff Kingsbury, more of the coordinators. So we're really not going to get any information at all until Friday. Friday is going to be the big day. But personally, and a lot of people are tripping or I guess crashing out over the news that came out today or whatever Dan Quinn said, because it's to me it sounds like he's not going to play. That's just me. On Wednesday you're on the side field. I know, Thursday, Friday it could happen, but I just feel like for precautionary reasons as well, they may wait until maybe even after the bye week, the Saints game. That's something that could be very, very realistic that he doesn't even play the Titans game. Like I wouldn't be surprised for that. We really don't necessarily need him for we can beat the Titans without him. We can beat the Cowboys without him. We should dust the Cowboys really by 10, 15 points, maybe more than that. We should beat the Titans by at least 6, 7, 10 points in my opinion. And the receiving core is okay, but they just don't have the quarterback. Same thing with the Cowboys. They have CD, they have Javonte Turpin. And Tolbert is solid, but they just don't have the quarterback to give them the football, Cooper Rush. They just don't have the offensive line that can hold up. They just don't have the defense that can keep our offense off the field to give their offense a chance and to not play from behind, which that's what we should do. We got to get an early lead, put our foots on their necks, smell blood, and go for the kill. So, I mean, yeah, sure, you could use Marshon for CD, but honestly, like the Cowboys, once they get punched in the mouth, they look disinterested. They look deflated. They look down and out like they did against the Texans. Same thing with the Eagles. Once they get punched in the mouth, man, that's it. They lay down and they just give up, and that's what they've done. And they're just not good enough. They're just not a good football team in general. So my point is, I feel like we can win this game without, or we should win this game without Marshon. And if he does really rest up, and we win the next two games, we go off the bye week, and then who do we play? The Titans after that. I think that may be honestly in his best interest. Now, like I said, for the trade purposes and giving up the picks, I get the complaints and whatnot, but I think for his best interest and for him to have him at 100%, I think that may be what may transpire is that he comes back for the Saints game at New Orleans and he guards whatever wide receiver one the Saints have, which at this point is Marquez Valdes-Scantling, because they just don't have many. With Chris Olave being out, they don't really have much receiver talent. So yeah, like I said, we'll revisit this on Friday, but my hunch is that Marshon is not going to play. So like I said, my word is not the end all be all, of course, is Dan Quinn and the doctors and the team staff and trainers. So let's move on to positive news here. So Dan Quinn said, everyone on the offensive line will be a full practice participant today. So that is good news for Cornelius Lucas, Andrew Wiley, guys who've been going through injuries. Tyler Biotis as well. I think Nick Allegretti was banged up, but Cornelius Lucas, let's keep an eye on if he's going to start this week, or do they still do the rotation of him and Brandon Coleman? I know Brandon Coleman struggled, but I feel like Brandon Coleman's had a solid season for the most part. Like the Giants game, he did really well. I think against Trey Hendrickson, he had good moments. The Browns game, he had good moments against Myles Garrett. So I feel like he's had some good moments this year. He's had some ups and downs, just like any normal rookie. But I think the biggest thing that I'm looking at is Cornelius Lucas. And do they have him start, or do they still keep doing the rotational substitution with Cornelius Lucas and Brandon Coleman, with them splitting snaps? Dan Quinn also said it's pool party time. And let's see who else. Austin Seibert is out there working today during practice, which is good news. Even though Zane Gonzalez has been fine, so it's not like I'm really tripping over that. But Austin Seibert is a dog. He's had a good season so far. And Dan Quinn said from there they will assess his progress from a hip injury that kept Austin Seibert out the past 2 games. So Austin Seibert still is not set in stone to play, but looks like he's trending in the right direction. The offensive line looks good. And then also Javonte John Baptiste. They have opened the 21-day practice window for defensive end Javonte John Baptiste. And then also the good news is that Dan Quinn didn't bring up Jaden Daniels' name at all. So to me, that signals that he's having a full practice today. There was a video they put out where ABC4 or NBC4 put out a video of Jaden Daniels practicing, which is good to see that he is a full participant, because I know Dan Quinn talked about how him missing some days threw them off, and it wasn't the best for them that Jaden was not able to practice. Missed a couple practices or was limited the past couple weeks. So good news is Jaden, the offensive line, Seibert, and then honestly we just got to wait and see with Marshon Lattimore. Like I said, I would not get too upset if he doesn't play this week, and just prepare yourself for it. And I would not go as far to say that it's a bad trade. I've seen too many people say, "Oh, it's a bad trade. We lost the trade, and this Adam Peters made a bad trade because he hasn't played the first 2 games since he's been here." But like I said, we're here for a playoff push, and we can play the Eagles again. And there's how many games left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 games. So if he misses this game, misses the Titans games, there's still 4 games left. After we should be 9-4 after these 2 games. We should be 9-4, potentially could be 10-4 after we beat New Orleans in New Orleans, and then we play Philly at home, and we could be 10-4, and Philly could be whatever the record is in 3. And they could lose to the Rams this weekend. They definitely could on Sunday, for sure. So, all right, you guys let me know what you guys think. As always, Hell's Commanders, peace.